What's going on, guys? Back today with another video. This is Nams from Boost Performance, and today we are on part 2 of the Audi RS3 project, the Hulk. If you watched part 1, you'd have seen that we diagnosed this car to be a non-starter as the engine had no compression. Crank it. Wow. And if you also watched it, you would know that we have already removed the engine. So today's video is about a full engine strip down to assess what's going on internally. The engine is currently in the build area where we're gonna go and start filming the whole strip down process to the point we find out what the issues are with this engine. I also mentioned in the last video, this project is not gonna be an ordinary one. This is gonna be a fully forged, built engine running a big turbo. It's gonna be a madness, and I can't wait to get started. As I said, I've nicknamed this RS3 the Hulk, and you're gonna find out why. I'm not gonna reveal any BHP figures or what we're trying to target at the moment. All I'm gonna say is stay tuned on the build from part 1 to however many parts there is, because it's gonna be an absolute madness. If this is the first time you're watching this video, let me show you quickly around. Like, to start off with, this is crazy. This car has come with carbon ceramic brakes. Like, can you believe that? Do you know how much these cost? This is crazy, carbon ceramics. It also came with APR downpipe. It came with an APR intercooler. This is crazy, man. You don't really get this lucky. And if you're thinking, I bought a car as a non-runner, I'm not that lucky, that was my choice. I chose to buy the car as a non-runner, as part of my YouTube projects. Let's walk over to the engine and let's have a look. So,
the price for the carbon ceramic disc.
No way. Look at this, yeah? eBay, that's used as well. £8,800 for Audi RS3 8V carbon ceramic brakes. I bought this car for 25k, yeah? 25k. As a non-runner, these retail for about 40, 41k. I'm gonna add the mileage is 30k, just in case you're wondering. And it's Viper green. And yeah, it's got the RS bucket seats. So very, very nice spec. Carbon inlays, Bang & Olufsen speakers, carbon steering, everything, you name it. I could just stick this for sale now on eBay and get about 7, 8k for it. And that's an absolute madness. But for now, the brakes are gonna stay on. Why? Because we're gonna be running some big power on this. And let's just say we're gonna be needing those carbon ceramic brakes. Guys, there's only 2 days left for the Mercedes GT63s competition to end. This car worth £130,000 could be yours. Imagine entering 2024 with this car. It's absolutely life-changing. And just look at it. It is so stunning. In Magno matte paint. The spec on this is absolutely huge. Just go through it. Look at that. To win this car, all you have to do is enter the competition on boostcomps.co.uk, answer the question, choose how many entries you want, and check out. This ends on the 31st of December, so only 2 days left. The winner could literally be you, so don't miss out. So here we have the 2.5 litre 5-cylinder Daza engine, which I'd say is the best version of the RS3 engine lineup. It is a 2.5 litre TFSI, and as some of you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the TFSI platform. I used to have a Mark 5 GTI back in the days with a CDL S3 engine, and that was pushing 370 brake. And Boost Performance, Nams Boost, all of that starts from that GTI Mark 5. I'll drop a picture in now so you guys can have a look. The plate actually had Boost on it, so that's where all this Boost branding came from. Anyway, moving on. This is the engine. What we now need to do is strip it down. First of all, removing all the ancillaries around it. This is the gearbox, the DSG gearbox. That needs to be removed. Once we do that, we can then take the cylinder head off, and that will expose the block, the pistons, the crank as well, once we get to the bottom end. In part 1, we had 0 compression across all the cylinders, and to me, something like that sounds like the timing's jumped, and the valves have hit the pistons, and the valves have now bent, meaning it's not sealing to the cylinder head and allowing the compression to leak out. So our first investigation is definitely going to be in the cylinder head. So without further delay, let's get cracking. I just wanted to show you what a valve looks like. This here is a valve which sits in the cylinder head, and here is a valve that basically is bent. Let me explain the situation. You've got the head here. So what it is, the timing chain in this engine, once in time, keeps everything running in perfect order, which means the valves opening and closing and the pistons going up and down at the right time. Since the timing chain is so crucial, if the car happens to jump timing, the valves and the pistons pretty much collide, and that's how you get a bent valve. Now, obviously, when it's bent like this, there's no way it's going to go back in the cylinder head and seal itself the way it's supposed to. So that's when you lose compression. Look, this car might have other issues. I don't know, but from what we've seen, we're saying timing has jumped. Even though the mileage is on 30,000, we just don't know. So I guess let's start stripping and then we'll see what happens. So we're just in the process of stripping the engine down. I want to show you guys something, yeah? So we just removed the timing chain cover. Have a look at this. Timing chain is slacked. So yes, I've got a very good feeling I was right about the timing chain even before we got onto the engine. We still got to remove the gearbox right now. This is the DSG gearbox. Once that's removed, we can then make space to remove the timing chain cover, and that'll access the full timing chain. And we can see if there's anything else wrong internally. But yeah, from what it looks like at the moment, see this? It should be tight. That is what I'm thinking has caused the problem in this RS3 right now. Let's continue and we'll find out. Alright, so it's time to remove the cylinder head from the engine. Let's have a look. Just imagine this. I'm about to forge this engine. What if this engine's been built already? That'd be crazy. What I mean by that is the bottom end, the pistons and the rods. Imagine it's been forged. I've got a good feeling it is, with the amount of modification I've seen on this car. And he's not spared any expense on it either, because the brands on them, they're not even cheap. Alright, let's go with this. Let's remove the head and see what we find. You guys ready, yeah? Yes. All right, let's lift his head. Go. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's have a look inside the bores. Looks pretty good to me. So as you can see, these are like markings, but you can also see the valve actually hit here. So we were correct in what we said. The timing has jumped and left a marking on the pistons. So these are factory markings, they already come with it, but you can also see an impression on there that shows the valve has hit there. At the moment, as you can see as well, the liners look pretty clean. There's not really any scoring on them, which is very good. And I think the bottom end is perfect. What we're gonna have to do in this case is basically rebuild the cylinder head. However, as I said, I'm forging this engine. We'll now be stripping the bottom end down too. So the crank, the pistons and the rods are gonna get removed, and we're gonna replace them with forged parts, which are due to arrive next week. And also a huge turbocharger. Let's not forget that. To push the big power, you need a big turbo. And that's what's coming next week as well. Right, now that you've seen the block, let's walk to the cylinder head and let's check it out. I'll show you guys something. So this is the valves that I was referring to. As you can see, they stay sealed in the head. But look closely on that valve there. See that? That is where the pistons have hit the valves when the timing jumped. And that is the reason why we have no compression on any of the cylinders. That's exactly what we thought the damage was when we done our compression test initially. As far as this project goes, if I was to only just get this car up and running again, all I have to do is just buy valves, take these out, replace them, new timing chain kit, and the car would start up and run perfectly fine. As I said, I'm taking this project further, and because I'm forging it, we're literally gonna strip the whole engine down now, basically. So we're gonna run a basic test here, yeah? So what it is, we got fuel here, which is very thin. What we're gonna do is insert it where the intake is, and what you're going to see is if it is leaking from the valves, it would actually leak out. Right now, we're putting fuel in from the top, as I said, and it's going to expose any leaks if there are any. Now, if for any reason they don't leak, what that's going to mean is the valves have been hit, but they didn't bend. And the reason for that is the material probably a lot stronger than you expect on other vehicles. So this one looks like it's not leaking. So now your question is probably going to be, why is there no compression if the valves are not bent? The reason for that is the timing chain is completely gone. If the timing chain is completely out, again, don't forget that means the car's out of timing. If the car's out of timing, the valves will stay open more than necessary, which again means the compression leak. So far, this head is naturally not leaking. So the valves are not leaking. So yeah guys, that is the reason why these are not leaking. However, as I said, we're pushing for big power on this car. That means we can't risk anything. Even though it's not leaking, we're still going to change the valves for precaution, because when you're running big power, you want everything to be spot on. It might have weakened the valves, even though it's not leaking. Who knows if it's not going to fail down the line. When, I don't know. But yeah, we're going to change it. That's what matters. So we're going to continue the strip down tomorrow. It's now 7 p.m. Time to go home. Tomorrow, we'll remove the gearbox and then strip down the block. Pistons, rods and cranks out. And then, yeah, the next part is, of course, getting the parts and assembling the engine back. See you tomorrow. So, a few hours later, we now have the engine block here, fully stripped down. As you can see, we've got nothing left. Let's turn my camera around. So this here is the cylinder block. And if you look inside, the pistons have been removed. Only the crankshaft is at the bottom, ready for the new pistons and rods to go in. However, we have found something interesting on the pistons and rods. Check this out. And by the way, this got nothing to do with the reason why the car wasn't starting. But let me show you something. Look at that. It's like a chip. It's been chipped. See that there? Losing a piece from there. This one's alright. That's how it's supposed to look. Yeah? And we found a few pistons like this. Very strange. That one's okay. Again, look, see that? Exactly in the same place. Another piston with a broken chip. That wouldn't lose compression though, would it? No. Nah. So that's not the reason compression was being lost from the engine though. Yeah, right there, see? So we've got 3 pistons that have been chipped. I'm not really sure what caused it, but I'd say because the car was tuned, it could have been the map running too much boost or something not safe, I'd say. However, we're not reusing these pistons or the rods. I have ordered forged pistons and rods which are coming next week, and we'll be fully forging this block, enabling us to run full power. What sort of power? I won't say just yet. I'll reveal it once the engine is built up, tuned and on a dyno, which is going to be an amazing part of this project. So just in case you don't know what forging a block means, I'll explain. So over here are obviously pistons and rods which you get from the factory. What we're going to get is the same thing, but it'll be forged. What that means is the materials are a lot stronger than these, which means they can take more power. So on these stock rods, I believe around 650 Newton meters. If you push the torque anything beyond that, they start bending the rods. And there have been some Audi RS3s, which have, not some, quite a lot actually, that have shot a hole right in the block from running too much power without forging it. So we're doing the pistons and the rods to really make the engine as strong as it can be. And also, on the cylinder head, we're going to be changing the valves, obviously because the cylinder head over there has failed when the timing jumped and the valves were bent. Springs and retainers as well. A new timing chain kit, and I guess I'll throw in a few more surprises in the next video. So make sure you guys tune in for that. So there you have it guys, an end to part 2 of the Audi RS3 build. We have now fully stripped it out and we are back next week with the new parts, and we're going to assemble the engine back up. I definitely cannot wait to start this beast up. You know what? I can't wait to fire this beast up, man. Look at that. You know what that's going to be? A street beast. Look at it, man. No engine right now, but soon to have a fully forged engine with a big turbo setup. Can't wait, man. Absolutely stunning. And once we're done with it, we're going to be taking this to a drag strip to do some crazy numbers. That's the goal. So yeah guys, make sure you tune into this build. As usual, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.